Hello, everyone. It's Anthony Bandiero, attorney and senior legal instructor for Blue Gold Law Enforcement Training, bringing you another Roadside Chat. Let's talk about this video that an officer sent to me involving an officer-involved shooting. Now, remember, my take on things is the search and seizure, right? Not necessarily use of force, but I also know about liability and so forth, so we'll talk about that. This shooting happened in St. Louis. Let me share with you a little bit of the backstory here. So this comes from Police Posts. So thank you, Police Posts, for putting this up here and giving some context. The backstory, according to here, what we know here is that the St. Louis County Police Department's Bureau of Crimes Against Persons is investigating an officer-involved shooting that occurred on March 21st, 2025. The incident resulted in the death of an adult male. Then the subject that you see there in the door jam, he's actually our subject, but he's also a physician. Thought that was kind of interesting. At approximately 10:23 a.m., two officers from the South County Precinct notified the Bureau of Communications that they were attempting to arrest a subject at the location for a charge of harassment in the first degree. Now, that's going to be probably one of our first legal issues that we're going to have to kind of address, going to people's homes to make a warrantless arrest. Upon making contact with the subject at the front door, the officers entered the residence. We're going to talk about that as well. During the verbal exchange, the subject produced a handgun, leading to a physical struggle between the subject and the officers. Both officers discharged their weapons and striking the subject. The subject, who a former physician at Mercy Hospital, was pronounced dead at the scene. A handgun was also recovered. Okay, so that's a little context. So we have PC charges for harassment, relatively serious case, but not murder or anything like that. We also don't have a warrant. He seems to this environment. This seems to be an apartment. You'll see this, but I don't know for sure. This could actually be, it could definitely be a single family home. And the reason I bring that up is because I'm going to bring up some legal issues that could come into play here. So now let's watch the video.
Hey, Dr. Lanis.
Hi. Come on,
Hi.
How are you guys?
Hey, good. You mind stepping out for us for just a minute? I'll explain to you everything that's going on. And I'll be honest with you, I know you got a lot going on in your personal life and everything like that.
Yeah.
And we talked on the phone, I guess, maybe a couple weeks ago or something like that. There's actually you and Officer here. So maybe you do, maybe you don't. At the end of the day, we've got some stuff we got to take care of. Okay. I want to give you a courtesy as long as you give us a courtesy, okay?
Sure.
At this point, though, we do have enough. If you mind stepping out for us really quick, okay?
Oh, okay. Just a second.
No, well, we need you to step out now.
Just a second, sir. Just a second.
Go ahead and step on out for us.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Can I take a minute?
Well, we need you to step out now. Here, step on out to the front porch, okay? Because you are, at this time, are being placed under arrest. Okay?
Really?
I'll walk you through everything, okay?
Oh, my God.
And everything like that. I don't want to cause a scene here at your residence, okay?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay? Everyone's got cameras.
Yeah.
And we don't want that, okay? So just step out for us. We'll walk you to the car.
Okay, wow. Give me just a second. Holy shit.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
we'll explain the process to you and everything. And we're not, we're going to take you to the station. We're not going to take you down to the jail. We'll see. But, we have to do this. There's no really avoiding it. We have to.
Yeah, we know you got a lot going on. We're not trying to put any more work or anything like that on you.
I understand.
Okay. But
it's best we just get it out of the way now, though, and then you can handle what you need to handle. But our hands are pretty tied. We have to.
But let's get this over with so it's not looming anymore. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Just give me just a second. Okay. Is this about the other day at the park? Is this what's going on?
Well, we'll be happy to talk to you, but we gotta do some stuff. So go ahead and step on out for us, okay?
Okay.
I understand you.
Okay. Just a second.
One resisting. Get on the ground. Drop the gun. 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 Where'd it go, boy? Drop the gun. Drop the fucking gun. No! Drop the gun! Please don't do this! Please drop the gun! No! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Stop! Please stop! Don't do this! This isn't worth it! This is not worth it! I promise you it's not worth it! It's not worth it! Drop the gun! Please! No! Please drop the gun! No! Drop it, he's gonna die! Drop it now! Please drop the gun! Don't talk! No! Holy fuck! Drop the gun! Use the gun! Holy fuck! Holy fuck!
All right, so let's kind of talk about this and go through it a little bit here, right? So we have a few legal issues that I think we should talk about. Now, just remember, okay, I'm just commenting on what I see. I do not even remotely have all the facts that we need to make a real legal opinion here that actually means anything. I'm simply thinking about the legal issues that I would be talking about and analyzing if I was on the defense side for our police officers, or maybe even on the plaintiff side, right? So we have to look at both sides of this. Okay, so let's kind of go through it, and I'm going to start the video again, and I'm going to stop it and just kind of have a conversation.
Hey, Dr. Lanis.
Hi. Come on,
Hi.
How are you guys?
Hey, good. Do you mind stepping out for us for just a minute? I'll explain to you everything that's going on. And I'll be honest with you, I know you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Personal life. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the first thing is that the officers, went to his house with probable cause to arrest him. Okay, so I did look up his area. This is definitely going to be a very nice home. I looked at it originally and I was like, man, it kind of has like an apartment feel to it, but it's not an apartment. It's definitely a home. So a single family home. What are the rules, the things we should be considering when we're going to a person's home, their curtilage, and in order to arrest them? So there definitely is no issue if you have probable cause going to a person's curtilage to their home, knocking on their door and trying to get their cooperation to come out. Hey, what's your side of the story? In other words, having a knock and talk. There is an issue, though. There is an issue if you go to a person's curtilage and then you see them on their curtilage, just say they're on their like porch and they're in their rocking chair, and with nothing else, all you have is probable cause. You have no agency, you have no arrest warrant, you don't have their consent to arrest them, and you go up there and just snatch them off of their porch and take them away. That is definitely an issue. You can look at Florida versus Jardines. That's your classic like curtilage case. This wasn't involving an arrest, it was involving a dog sniff. But the Supreme Court made it very clear that curtilage is treated like the home itself. So if you're going to snatch people off of their porch without any other lawful reason for being there, that is very problematic. However, those rules do not apply to most apartments or condos. Why? Because apartments, condos do not have what? For the most part, curtilage. The area in front of their door is not protected under a reasonable extension of privacy. It can be. If you want to ask me questions about that, I can make a video. It can be, but most of the time, 99% of the time, it's going to be a common hallway. So these cops went there with PC. They want to arrest him. However, let me ask you this. Did they conduct a knock and talk initially? Absolutely, they did. Look at these guys. They're talking to him. They're telling him, hey, this is what we're kind of here for, and so forth. Okay, so they're definitely doing a knock and talk. So we are absolutely golden right now, even though they're on the man's curtilage. The next question is this. We have a case called U.S. versus Santana, where the Supreme Court has said that the threshold of a home determines whether or not the person's inside their home or outside their home. So what's the threshold? The threshold is really nothing more than a door frame. If a person is in their door frame, are they inside or outside the home? Well, the court has said that a person in their door frame, they call it the threshold, would be outside the home for constitutional purposes. And in that case, what happened was Santana was in the door frame, then ran into the house after she was told she was under arrest, and they engaged in hot pursuit. Well, is he in his door frame? Okay, we don't know. This is definitely a qualified immunity issue, right? It's not clearly established. But here's what I teach, because I think I teach best practices because I want to win at the Supreme Court every single time. I don't want to kind of win on I don't know. The law's not clearly established. You probably violated the law, but we'll give you a pass this time. No, I'm looking to just get it right every single time. If you go to bluetogold.com, that's our motto. I like it. I'm proud of it. Get it right every time. I do not think he is outside the home under these facts. Okay. If you look here, he is standing partially in the door frame, but most of his body is actually still inside the home. So when it comes to the intent of the law, what do you think? Do you think the Supreme Court looking at this would think that he's inside or outside? Guys, he's going to be inside the home. All right, let's continue.
Like that. Yeah. And we talked on the phone, I guess, maybe a couple weeks ago or something like that. It was actually you and Officer here. So maybe you do, maybe you don't. At the end of the day, we've got some stuff we got to take care of. Okay. I want to give you a courtesy as long as you give us a courtesy, okay? Sure. At this point, though, we do have enough. If you mind stepping out for us really quick, okay?
Oh, okay. Just a second.
No, well, we need you to step out now.
Just a second, sir. Just a second.
Go ahead and step on out for us.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Can I take a minute?
Well, we need you to step out now. Here, step on out to the front porch, okay? Because you are, at this time, are being placed under arrest. Okay?
Really?
I'll walk you through everything, okay?
Oh, my God.
And everything like that. I don't want to cause a scene here at your residence, okay?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, everyone's got cameras.
Yeah.
And people, we don't want that. Okay, so just step out for us. We'll walk you to the car.
Okay, wow, give me just a second. Holy shit.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, this is another great legal question. If he is inside of his home, right, which I think he is, okay, but you can disagree. But if he is inside his home, and again, I'm not looking at this whole, qualified immunity. I'm looking at what would the Supreme Court say? Is he in or out? Okay, I think he's in. Okay, and if you agree with me, then the next question is this: when the officer told him that he is under arrest, how does that change things, right? If the cop says, hey, look, you're inside your home, you are under arrest, are you now obligated to come out of your home? And the answer is maybe. And I'll tell you, I don't like maybes. If you know me, I don't like saying maybes. But the answer is it's yes or no, depending on the facts. The answer is yes, if the officer has a lawful authority to enter the house and pull you out. So if I say, hey, you're under arrest, come out. Does the guy have to come out? Yes, if the cop is giving what? A lawful order. Right? What is a lawful order? Somebody asked me that the other day. In fact, it was a civilian review board. And they're like, what is a lawful order? A lawful order is something that you can back up, right? It's something that you can enforce with the penalty of law. Meaning you're saying something to them, you're ordering that person to do something, and they better do it. And if they do not do it, it's what? Obstruction, and so forth, right? Okay. So if you tell a person, hey, I got PC charges for you. Now come out of your home, but you don't have an arrest warrant. You certainly don't have that person's consent. Otherwise, you don't need to order them out. And you don't have any exigent circumstances. Is that a lawful order? And the answer is absolutely not. I mean, think about this. You have PC, probable cause, that I engage in reckless driving. And I escape you, right? I flee. I make it to my house. You arrive 5 minutes later. And you see me inside my house. And you're like, I'm in my kitchen. And you're like, hey, you know who I am, right? Because you ran my plate and everything. Hey, Anthony, get out here right now. You're under arrest. Do I have to come out under penalty of law? The answer is no, because you don't have an arrest warrant, you don't have my consent, and you don't have exigency. Reckless driving is not exigent circumstances. So, okay, you can say come out of your house all day long and you're under arrest, but it has no legal teeth because it's a check that you can't cash. In other words, if I don't come out and then you go get an arrest warrant or whatever, can you charge me with some kind of obstruction? The answer is no, right? I didn't obstruct anything because you never gave me a lawful order. Make sense? Otherwise, you just tell everybody, hey, I got PC charges, get out of your house. Get out of your house, right? Then the whole arrest warrant would be it would be mute. It'd be like a nullity, right? Okay, so when he said, you're under arrest, come out, was that a lawful order based on what we see here? No way. No way. Let's continue.
Well,
we'll explain the process to you and everything. And we're not, we're going to take you to the station. We're not going to take you down to the jail. I mean, we'll see, but we gotta. I mean, we have to do this. There's no there's no really avoiding it. We have to.
Yeah, we know you got a lot going on. We're not trying to put any more work or anything like that on you. Okay, but
it's best we just get it out of the way now, though, and then you can handle what you need to handle. But our hands are pretty tied. We have to.
But let's get this over with, so it's not looming anymore. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Just give me just a second.
Okay.
Is this about the other day at the park? Is this what's going on?
Well, we'll be happy to talk to you, but we gotta do some stuff. So go ahead and step on out for us, okay?
Okay.
I understand you.
Okay. Just a second.
All right. That hand grab, arm grab, is going to be, to me, the most important legal issue in this case. When that officer put hands on him, right, and tried to grab him out, was that lawful? Not with what I see, and not what I see, because I don't think, again, I don't think that legally, constitutionally, this subject is outside his home. I still think that in the spirit of the law, he's inside of his home. So therefore, I call this body snatching. We don't have the authority to body snatch people out of their homes just because we can see them, right? Plain view does not work here. Plain view is right to be, right to see. We can see this person. Plain view seizure, in the sense of like, hey, okay, I can now grab it, I can now seize it, is when you also have lawful access. Now, so once the hand goes on the habeas gravis, right? We're trying to pull this guy out, then he, basically goes into his home. Again, I do not think that the officer made the right move here, right? Legally, if he cannot coax this guy out, legally, what the officer should have done so far, based on what I'm seeing here, is left and got an arrest warrant. We have no exigency. We have no armed and dangerous person. We have no imminent suicide. We have nobody else is in danger. We have no destruction of evidence. We have no imminent escape. We have nothing. We just have PC charges of, maybe a serious crime, but that's not enough. The case there is Payton versus New York, where the Supreme Court said that even a murder would not authorize you to enter a home to make a PC arrest. So a murder is much more serious than harassment, and those cops could not make that entry, so here we cannot make it either. Okay, but let's talk about something called qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is a two-pronged test. Number one is, did the officer even violate the Constitution? If the officer did not violate the Constitution, we end it right there. Then we pat the officer on the back, we give him a fist bump, we give him a high five, we say, hey, get back to work, you did a good job, keep up the good job, right? However, if the officer did violate the Constitution, it's not over, right? The next thing is, was it clearly established? Was there a case that's binding on these St. Louis officers, these St. Louis County officers, that would have informed them, and really with no ambiguity, that they were violating the law when they did this? That case would have to come from the U.S. Supreme Court, or it would have to come from the 8th Circuit. I got to look up my circuit here, but it would have to come from the Federal Circuit where Missouri is, or it would have to come from the Missouri Supreme Court, or it would have to come from an appellate court that's binding on this particular county. In other words, we do not use persuasive case law to hold officers accountable for what happened in California, what happened in New York, or what happened in Texas. We only hold these officers accountable for what happened in their courts that are binding onto them. Now, I don't think that we're going to. I think that this is going to be a good qualified immunity case, right? Where I think so. There are some cases that I do have in mind that cause problems here. Not enough to get into right now, but some things like, where's the delineation of the home? Is Santana so clear that a reasonable officer would have known that the guy was in his house? I don't know. Probably not, right? I mean, let's not be too hard on these cops. They're trying to do a very hard job here. So do I think it's a violation? Yes, only based on what I know. Do I think they get qualified immunity? Do I think it was clearly established? No, I do not. I mean, I think they do get qualified immunity because I don't think it was clearly established. That is my opinion here. You can kind of look at this, picture again. Look at what's going on here. They are, it seems, was this hot pursuit? That's another issue too with Lange versus California. Even if it was hot pursuit, was it enough? It's a problem. Okay, guys, it's an issue. So what's the takeaway here? The takeaway is, please, if you are at somebody's door and you have PC charges and you say, hey, you better come out, right? You're under arrest. Get out here. I want you to ask yourself, was that a lawful order? Did you actually have an arrest warrant or exigency? Did you have something, destruction of evidence, escape, officer danger? Did you have something like that? Because if you didn't, you're telling the guy something that you cannot enforce. It's not a lawful order, and it's going to have some bad consequences. You could lose qualified immunity. This is a shooting, so of course it's going to be litigated. You get my point. Okay. If you have any questions about this case or anything else that I teach, please let me know. But that's just kind of my 2 cents. I've been asked my opinion. I'm giving my opinion, and that's all it is right now. We'll see what happens with this case. But I do predict some issues. Okay? All right. If you like what we're doing here at Blue to Gold Law Enforcement Training, like, subscribe, share with your friends, show this in briefing. Go to bluetogold.com and sign up for our free webinars. We're also giving away something that fits in a holster and makes loud sounds during our webinars for the police officers and prosecutors that attend our classes. All right? All right. Until next time, my friends, you stay safe.